Section 7 of the American Diary of a Japanese Girl. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The American Diary of a Japanese Girl by Yone Noguchi, in Americi, Part 5. 6th. Anatta Donata. I rubbed my dreamy eyes, scanning my room. Who was the Japanese speaker? I crept to the door and opened it slightly. Not a soul was there. I heard the trivial clatter of the kitchen stepping up. I dipped into my bed again. I smiled skeptically, thinking that I must have been dreaming. Go Kijen Ikaja. I was addressed again by the same voice. I said that there was positively some mischief in my room. I leaped down from the bed. I inspected my slippers. I made sure there was nothing strange under the pictures on the wall. I tugged at the drawers. I tumbled every blanket. I pried in the picture. I sat on the bed, wrapped in fog. The blind rustled. The sunbeams crawled in marvelously. Then I was frightened by another speech, Nihonjin desu. I declared that it flew in from the outside. I rolled up the blind. Oya, oya. There was a parrot perching in a cage by my window. He adjusted his showy coat first, and then sent me his inquisitive eyes. Anatta Donata, he repeated. Morning Glory is my insignificant name, sir, I replied. A trifling toss of his head showed his satisfaction in my name. I thought he was trying to set me at ease with his smile. Go Kijen Ikaja. I feel splendidly. Thank you, Mr. Parrot, I said. Then pressing his head backward, he looked haughtily at me with fixed eyes and announced, Nihonjin desu. I'm also a Jap, I muttered. He was the most profound Japanese scholar, Mrs. Schuyler said, in all Los Angeles. Mr. Schuyler, Jr. brought him from Kobe last spring. I told her the incident of this morning. She laughed. She said she expected it. Bad mother Schuyler. 17th, dear baby, kawaii koto. I hugged the baby of Mrs. Schuyler, Jr. and kissed it. Her husband is away in Japan for the tea business. It was the darling baby, I thank the gods, who received my first kiss. It's heavenly to stamp love with a kiss. Lips are the portal of the human heart. Kiss is sweet. I say that it marks an epoch in the spiritual evolution of the Japanese when they learn what a kiss is, but not how to kiss. The baby crawled like a sportive crab. It orationed. It. I felt sorry that it would soon be changed to he or she. It caught sight of a piece of burnt match in the course of its expedition. It turned its way and clenched it with its fingers. It hastened to the mother to exhibit it, and waited patiently with its great game for Mama's praise. I nearly cried in my excitement at such a pathetic revelation. Lovely thing. The baby had blue eyes. My preference wasn't for blue eyes. I often snapped at them, saying that they were like a dead fish's eyes. But how long can I keep up my ill will when I look with delight upon the blueness in water, sky, and mountain? Isn't it precious to see the blue pictures on china? A blue pencil is just the thing to mark on the margin of a pleasing book. Blue is a poetical hue. Robert Burns was blue-eyed. I recall the first American I met in Tokyo who seriously questioned whether it was a fact that Japs butcher a blue-eyed baby. Baka, baka, shii, wa. Japan has no blue eye, and Japanese are worshippers of any sort of baby. If American babies were like Chinese girls, I would pile up all my coins to buy one. American baby understood how to smile before how to cry. It is a lady or gentleman already. I will serve as baby's nurse if I must support myself. It's a high task to be useful to the baby, and watch its growth as a silent astronomer watches the stars. I wish I could roll the baby's carriage day after day. How sweetly the world would be turning then. Shall I hire Schuyler's baby for one day? 8. Is there any more gratifying word than dinner? I had a hippogoo dinner. Permit a Chinese-English expression for once. Its inviting heaviness was like an honorable poem by Milton. Schuyler's house has a Miltonic presence. Electric light is too imposing. Candelabra are like a moon, whose beams are a lenitive song. The nude shoulders of Mrs. Schuyler, Jr., crimsoned in the rays from the candelabra. The exposure of some part of the skin is the highest order of art. How to show it is just as serious a study as how to clothe it. If I had such supreme shoulders as hers, I would not pause before displaying them. What falling shoulders are mine! The slope of the shoulders is prized in Japan. America is another country, you know. I appeared at the dinner in my native gown. The things on the table had a high-toned excellence. I will not forget to have my initials engraved if I happen to buy any silver. Coffee was served. I felt that an old age had returned, when eating was only a dissipation. I'm growing to love American food. I'm glad that I don't see any musty pudding at Schuyler's, a sight that makes me 10 years older. And another thing I hate is the smell of cabbage. How pleased I was to see a chabu of shallow water in my finger bowl. Just a glimpse of water is tasty. Our taciturn butler retired from the dining room with graceful dignity. The butler has ceased to be a common servant. He has advanced, I suppose, to the rank of an ornament of the American household. The sister, Mother Schuyler, and her husband dined with us. The funniest thing about her was that she kept a few long hairs on her cheek. They grew from a mole. It may be good luck to preserve them. Her husband was surprised when he heard that we do not use knife and fork at home. Bamboo chopsticks, how dear. 9th, I've no belief in the earring. It is a savage mode, like the deformed feet of the Chinese woman. But why did the American lady discard her veil? Her face behind the veil would appear like a rose through the spring mist. It is a charming thing as ever was fashioned for woman. I've seen no lady with a veil in this town. I suppose the Los Angeles women confide in their faces. They strew more liberty in their grace than the San Franciscans. Their beauty is informal. The city is enchanting. I'm pleased that I am not shown here so many to let as in Frisco. Even the barefooted Arabs, those street sparrows, are quite a picture. 10th, I promised Mrs. Schuyler, Jr. good care of her baby for half an hour. I carried it firm on my arms. I jogged out to the garden. The baby faced toward me and said, "Boo-boo, boo, boo-boo." I felt grateful, thinking that it counted me among its friends. I laid its head on my breast. I sang a little Japanese lullaby. Neneko, neneko, nenekoyo, orago akanbawa, itsu dekita, sangatsu, sakurano, saku tokini, doride, oka woga, sakurairo. Sleep, sleep, sleep. When was our baby made? 3rd month, when the cherry blossoms. So the honorable face of our child is cherry blossom colored. The breezes build and cooed upon the grasses. An imperial palm cast its rich shadow. The affectionate sunlight made me think of a little spring of the Japanese September, everything inclined to a siesta in the yellow air. A tropical touch is the touch of passion. Can you fancy this as the month of December? I cannot. After I put the baby to its nurse, I paced around a bronze statue upon the lawn, losing myself in Greek beauty. Then I snatched a rose. I pressed it to my nose-tip. 12th, where's my painstaking description of Echo Mountain? I made a pleasant trip there yesterday with Schuyler's party. I lost my writing, penned last night. Such a heedless tomboy. I idled, watching a spider from my window. It was framing a net amid the garden trees. An awfully dignified tomcat glared from under a bush. I was sorry no game came upon the scene to his honor. My profound Japanese scholar was not discouraged by the lack of an audience. He was busy presenting his polite Kogi Gen Okaga. Then I found what I did with my yesterday's diary, a redo mono. I wiped my oily hands with it and buried it in a trash basket. I fixed my hair this morning. Morning glory, san. You have to keep your Nikki in a safe. Great Carlyle wrote his French Revolution twice. I wish I had been given a slice of his persistency. 13th, a bishop visited and lunched with us. Bishop, how I desired to meet one. It had been my fancy ever since I read of the venerable bishop who threw out candlesticks to Jean Valjean in Hugo's book. His name was Muriel. What is my friend's name? After a man reaches the bishop's his own name should retire from actual service. People call him Bishop, Bishop, as if it were a nickname. My bishop had a holy face. Who is this good man who is staring at me? I said to myself at first sight, as Napoleon said when he saw Muriel. A young churchman is unnatural. The customarily pessimistic face of the Japanese priest causes aversion. I got what I wanted in my new friend. If I were his daughter, I would comb his silken hair before he goes to church on Sunday. I was glad he was not thin. Ho, ho, ho. He ate meat like anybody else. He would seem holier if he merely bit a crust of bread and sipped 3 spoonfuls of tea. After luncheon we strolled through the garden arm in arm. Not a bit I blushed. I was as completely at ease with him as with my papa. He told me of the beauty of Christ. His soft, deep voice was as from a faraway forest. I plucked a few stems of violets. I fitted them to his buttonhole. Such a little thing pleased him immensely. Dear, simple bishop. I digested what he spoke. I declared that Christianity was the sun, while Buddhism was the moon. The sun is day and life, and the moon night and rest. How can we live without the sun? The moon is poetry. 14th, the sky became low, its color frowning gray. The wind snarled. December was suddenly calling us. We sat by a snug fire at evening. Its yellow flame suggested a preacher uplifting his hands in prayer. The fire flickered in jollity. Pachi, pachi, pachi. The parlor was not lighted. The pictures on the wall were impressive in the firelight. Any woman looks charming at night and by the fireside. I felt happy, imagining that I must appear lovely. The fireplace is so dear, like Mamma's lap. Mr. Schuyler brought a chessboard and challenged. I offered me for a fight. I used to play American chess with an American missionary who lived in my neighborhood. I thought it fun to beat an old man. Namu Tanshoko Dai Jingu. I repeated. The gentleman asked what I muttered. Never mind, only a little spell. I replied in the lightest fashion. The chessboard was placed between us. Mr. Schuyler, can you sacrifice anything for the game? Whatever you please, my little woman. Well, then, suppose you make Mrs. Schuyler your stake. My uncle will be mine. Ah, very well. He was a tactician. I fought hard. Alas, my game was lost. My second stake was myself. It means that I may marry you, doesn't it? As you please, sir. Iyani Nata. He was far superior. Oya, oya, I was a loser again. I looked sadly on my uncle and said, Uncle, you cannot return home. We are the property of Mr. Schuyler. Isn't it really too bad? End of section 7.